Right off the bat, I want to thank the person who reminded me that I was supposed to do this. We all know I'm a teensy weensy bit scatterbrained. It's okay, it's cute and quirky, which is why I just let myself be. But apparently I did say that we were going to talk about why you don't need to believe in your manifestation in order to manifest when I did the Pearl of Great Price video. So we'll call this an extension of the Pearl of Great Price, why you don't need to believe your manifestation in order to manifest it, and what belief actually has to do with manifestation in general, because that's the whole reason we're doing this, right? In order to change your beliefs, in order to live a new life, in order to become a new version of yourself. But just like with everything else, people love to make things complicated. And I'm just saying people in general, humans in general, love to overcomplicate things when truly they are so simple. So that's why I'm here to break it down for you, to make this so understandable, to make it so accessible to you, and to make it practical so you can do what you need to do, get what you need to get, and we can move right along. To start off, let's do a little bit of a recap of what the Pearl of Great Price is. The Pearl of Great Price is a lecture that Neville did based off of a story in Matthew. I'm pretty sure it's Matthew 13. The story is talking about what the Pearl of Great Price is. So when you buy the Pearl of Great Price, you become Christ, and through that Christ consciousness, you enter the kingdom of heaven. I know different people are in different spaces with where they resonate spiritually on the topic of religion, or just different people's practices vary. When I speak about the Bible, I speak about it very much in the same way that Neville does. I look at the Bible as a psychological drama, as a metaphysical interpretation of our psyche, of the human processes, of the human mind, of how we interact with our reality. So when he's talking about the kingdom of heaven, this kingdom of heaven is your state of the wish fulfilled. And when he's talking about Christ, he's talking about your Christ consciousness, knowing yourself to be that I am. Your I am is that creative power, your awareness of being that allows you to manifest, which allows you to imagine and make that imagination a reality. In a nutshell, the most important thing to understand about the Pearl of Great Price is that when you buy this pearl, the payment for it is the releasing of all of your beliefs, all of your conceptions, all other causes that are outside of you as a cause for what's happening to you in your reality, as a cause for the way you are, the way things are, the way people are, the way circumstances are. Everything is dropped in order to buy that pearl. I'll include an example that Neville used. He used the example of astrology. Neville was very in-depth into astrology for many years. He studied and practiced astrology and had many clients that came to him to read their charts. And he had this lady who had done a chart for a man, had told him that a certain amount of money was going to come to him. And the man said, okay, when the money comes, I'm gonna send you a piece of it. So the woman's excited, but then she goes back and realizes that the reading that she gave the man was based on a chart that was not his. So she goes to Neville, she's freaking out. She's like, listen, I gave this man this reading. I told him that he was gonna get this money, and I realized that I read him the wrong chart. Like, this is not him, he's not gonna get the money. What am I gonna do? I can't just go back and tell him, hey, I was wrong. I just don't know what to do at this point. Neville says, just continue believing that this is what's going to happen for this man, that the reading that you gave him was the truth, and that he's going to have this experience, remain firm, and continue along in this story of this man is going to get this money. He got the correct reading. So the woman persists in the story, the man gets the money, and she gets a MoneyGram. All of that to say that even beliefs like astrology, numerology, tarot, religion even, all of these things that are external to you, all things that place the power outside of you, all other things that give rise to things in your reality that you might see as a cause external, outside of yourself, your own human imagination, are the things that must be sold to buy this Pearl of Great Price. So the true meaning of the Pearl of Great Price is to know that you are the only cause, that you are the only cause of everything that happens in your reality, that everything that you see, everything that you experience, and who you are is based on your conception of being. So it is true abundance in knowing that you are the creator of all of these things, and that's why it is so valuable. That's why you would sell all of your other limiting beliefs, all conceptions, all conditions other than I am that I am. So you could see, if we're following along this vein, then even the belief that you have to believe in order to get your manifestation is another condition. There is a popular Neville quote that I think can be easily misinterpreted into making you think that you must force yourself to believe, or you must try to believe, or you must do something in order to make yourself believe in your manifestation before the manifestation arises. I'll read you the quote and then we'll dive deeper in depth and really break it down so you can understand how simple it actually is, and how buying the Pearl of Great Price is such a relief. It's not putting the faith in yourself, in your own abilities, like as this human 3D avatar as the ego self, but it's returning back to true fulfillment, to your true state of being, to your true self-concept, which is that I am. And so all your faith rests in the law. All your faith rests in yourself being the only cause. So the quote, "You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe it is the only reason you do not see it. To seek on the outside for that which you do not feel you are is to seek in vain, for we never find that which we want, we only find that which we are." People are like, what do you mean my refusal to believe it? So I have to make myself believe in order to manifest it? That's missing the point. He's saying that you know yourself to be that thing already in imagination before you know yourself to be it experientially. Before you see the 3D evidence of the thing, you already are. And there can be no outside evidence until you already are. That's the whole signs follow, they don't precede thing. You have to be that state first. You have to be in that awareness first. You have to be in that knowing first before anything in the external world changes. So it is knowing yourself to be that which you are. That is beyond belief, because your beliefs, the beliefs that you have in your current conception of yourself, are based on your past experience. They're based on an old version of you. They're based on what you've seen, what you know to be true, the old story. And all of those things are attached to your conception of yourself as that old identity. But when you shift your identity, when you start to see things differently, when you say, I now am aware of myself being this is what I know now, this is my new truth, that knowing is not based on the past beliefs. That knowing is not based on 3D evidence. That knowing is based on you being the only cause, you being the only one who gets to say. So if you are not the one who stands up and says, I am, nobody outside of you is going to say it for you. Your reality is not going to say it for you. The people around you are not going to say it for you. You have to say that you are. So it's not striving or trying to believe it. It's not trying to convince yourself of something. It is acknowledging the awareness that you already are that thing right now. It is accepting the knowing that I am, that I am. Neville is saying your refusal to believe it is the only reason that you don't see it. But you say, but I'm not refusing to believe it. I'm affirming, I'm doing sats, I'm journaling, I'm scripting, I'm constantly doing inner conversations. I'm doing all of these things. I'm doing subliminals. I'm listening to my affirmations on a loop, but I still don't believe it. I've done all these things, but I still don't believe it. Your trying is the refusal of you believing it. You searching for a way to make it work, or a way to make it better, or a way to align yourself or make it feel natural is refusing to believe it. Your frustration with the process and it not working is your refusal to believe it, because it could never not be working if you are the only cause. The only cause, that's it. Nobody outside of you, no bearded man in the sky, no universal forces that are testing you or keeping things away from you. It is you. Your refusal to say, I am that now, not I'm trying to become that, not I'm working to become that, not once I do this, I will be that, not I could see myself being that, but I'm still working towards it. All refusal to believe that you are it now. If you are the only cause of everything that happens in your reality, you know that belief is a choice. Just like everything else. I love to talk about choices because we have so many choices and we get to make all the choices, and the choices really do have impact in your reality. I mean, it really is your job to just be the chooser. You just are the decider. I even find myself straying away from creator because we know creation is finished, but I'm just the one who's picking. I'm just choosing. I'm just like, I've got this huge universal shopping cart and I'm just putting in whatever I want, and nobody can tell me it's over capacity. Nobody can tell me I'm over the limit. Nobody can tell me, oh, that thing's too far away, that's too out of reach, that doesn't fit in your basket, because my basket is infinite, continually expanding as well. So there is always space. There's always room to see things differently. There's always space for a perspective shift or an alternative reality, an alternative lifeline where you are the person you already want to be. So if that infinite realm of possibilities exists and you claim that I am now, that is what that I am means. That quote, I am, is the declaration of I'm aware, I'm here, I'm conscious, I perceive, I'm here doing a thing with the body, but I'm not the body. I'm not even the mind observing the body. I'm the observer of the mind observing the body. I am in all of it. I'm not separate from all of it, but deeply, deeply in all of it, connected to all of it. I am all of this. I'm experiencing reality, but I am this reality, and everything outside of me is a conception of myself. If you buy the Pearl of Great Price and you say, okay, I'm the only cause. Everything that I see outside of me is literally based on who I see myself to be. You know that it is a choice to believe. It is a choice to say that I am this now. That I am, that declaration that I am aware, I am consciousness, is the basis for that I am. The first one is a declaration of you being. The second one is a declaration of you being that thing. I am conscious awareness of being my desire. So I am that desire. I already am that thing now. That's what I am that I am means. So you are that consciousness, that Christ consciousness, that human imagination, that creative power that is you already. But it is acknowledging, accepting, resuming responsibility as the owner and the guardian of that power and wielding it in your reality instead of letting it be wielded for you, instead of letting your reality choose, instead of letting the people around you or the circumstances choose. You remember who you are. You say, I am, this is my conviction. And now that I know that I am, now that I know I'm the only one who's creating, now that I know that I'm the only cause, whatever I want outside of me is not actually outside of me. I already am that I am. I already am that thing. I already know myself to be that thing. So there's really not a lot of room for do you believe it or do you not believe it. So yes, this new state of consciousness that you're assuming, this new version of yourself that you see yourself to be, does come along with its own states, its own belief systems, its own way of seeing and interacting with reality. Those things can be supported by you. If you say, I know myself to be this person, then okay, what kind of things does this person say? What kind of places does this person go? How does this person talk? How does this person feel? And then you use your imaginal acts to support that and build internal evidence. Because once you've built that internal evidence and you know yourself to be it internally, then you can know yourself to be it experientially. You can see it, and then seeing is believing. But first, it's the reverse. It's believing is seeing. It's the law of reversibility. If I can see it and know myself to be it, then I can be it and know that I will see it. It works both ways. And remember, anything that you're seeing, anything that is 3D evidence to you of why you should believe that you can't be this person, or there are conditions, or this reality is something that you're stuck in, remember that all of these things that appear before you now are conceptions of the old version of you. So if you're the only cause and you are continuing to reaffirm the story that this is the way things are, the way that things have always been, nothing's gonna change, then nothing can change because you're the only person who can say, I am. Okay, I know this to be a different experience. I know myself to be a person who's living in love, who's living in bliss, who's living in freedom. Instead of, I know myself to be a person who has been in poverty, who had a terrible upbringing, who always struggles with money, who always struggles with interpersonal relationships. If you know yourself to be that person experientially, then it is because you saw yourself and knew yourself to be that internally first. So if you want to shift, if you want to see something different, then you have to assume the internal knowing first. The 3D is not the validation. The 3D is not what makes you believe. So it's pointless to try and force yourself to believe or try to convince yourself that you are this person when you see yourself as not being this person. You're fighting against these concepts of yourself. You're in a state of double-mindedness, saying that I want to be this person through your energy, through what you're doing, through striving to become something that you already are, while saying, no, I already am this thing, but yet I'm still trying to become it, but yet where is it? But yet this is taking so long, but yet here's this opposite condition or circumstance. So do you know yourself as it or do you not? Do you believe that you are it or do you not? So let's just nix the idea of I have to believe it first and just go straight to the knowing. Because if you know something, of course you believe it. If you know something, then of course you are that thing. And that, again, that thing comes with all the experiences, all the belief systems, all the things that encompass that state. When you look out into the 3D reality, what you see is a dead world. What you see is old. What you see is recycled concepts of patterns and habits and stories that you've told over and over again, and belief systems that you've built and continually reaffirmed and continually built mountains of evidence on top of to say, this is me, this is who I am. So when you look out at your 3D reality after you've made the choice that, hey, I'm gonna be a different person now, and you still see the same evidence, Of course it's gonna be like, okay, what the fuck? I don't believe that I'm already this person having this experience when I'm seeing right now that I'm not this person. I'm having an experience of the opposite. But you know that what you see will not change, will not transform into your new conception of being until you remain faithful to that knowing, until you have a level of conviction in being that person and being the I am that you are. So you have to choose not to force yourself to believe, but to take the evidence that you used to believe, all the belief systems that are old, that are outdated, that are no longer wanted, that no longer serve you. You choose to deny the evidence of your old beliefs in favor of the internal evidence that you're building in your 4D reality, in your mental reality, in your imaginal acts, whatever imaginal acts you do, whether you make a firm decision and that's it, or whether you continue to saturate yourself by doing sats, by affirming. But it's not, I'm doing this so that I can believe. It's, I'm doing this because I already know myself to be. That is beyond the condition of I have to believe it before I see it. That is, I am seeing it in my imaginal reality. I know I'm the only cause. So if I'm continuing to see this and continuing to feel this and continuing to identify with this internally, then it must show me evidence in 3D. Then I must become this person experientially in real, tangible, physical reality. But that's some people's biggest qualm. It's like, I don't see it right now. Where is it? So no, it's not seeing is believing. We don't worry about what we see. It is deny your senses, not deny that it exists, deny that the old story exists. It's there. It's there. But do you still choose it is the question. Do you still know yourself to be that version of that person living in that reality? Or do you know yourself to be something different? Are you going to make a different choice is what it comes down to. Knowing yourself to be it is the indication that you already are that thing and that thing is already done. And your past beliefs are based on that condition of you still being that person. So if you're not that person anymore, then those past beliefs must fade away. So it's not about worrying about changing your beliefs or fixing your beliefs or what do I need to do or do I need to release this limiting belief and how do I become a person who thinks like this or a person who acts like this or how can I see myself differently. It's not how can I do this, how can I become this, how can I try and effort my way and force my way into being this person. I'm gonna just decide something different because I'm done with this, regardless if I believe it, regardless of if it feels illogical, regardless of if I've never had this experience before and I have nothing backing up this assumption. That's literally what an assumption is. Assumptions don't need evidence. Assumptions aren't based on 3D facts. Assumptions are based on what you claim you know. So pretty much, you have two options. Knowing that fulfillment is the only option, and by fulfillment, I mean whatever you say you are, whatever your conception of yourself is, that's what you're gonna get. So you are manifesting. Manifestation is working. Whether you're getting favorable or unfavorable results is the question, but you are getting an output of exactly what your input is, exactly what you see yourself to be and who you know yourself to be internally. You can either remain faithful, just make a firm decision and say, okay, I'm going to deny all evidence that it is anything other than what I said it is. That's it. Just, I'm choosing to release all beliefs. I've released all conceptions. I've released all conditions and anything outside of me as the only cause. So I'm going to say that it's the way that I want it to be now. And that's just it. That's just done. And any other evidence that comes to the contrary, I don't care. It can be there. It can do what it wants to do. That has absolutely nothing to do with me because that's not my story, not the reality I live in, not who I know I am. I already know that I am this person. Option 2, repetition. If there's a high level of wavering, if you're still worried about why you don't believe it yet, continue to repeat. If you continue to repeat, if you continue to persist in that knowing, persist in telling yourself the story that you already are this person, that you have this new conception of yourself, then it must harden into fact. But the thing about the repetition is you repeat until you acquire the feeling of naturalness. If you repeat, and you say, oh my God, I can't even believe it. I didn't believe my manifestation, but here it is. Oh my God, what the fuck? What do I do now? And then it becomes a thing of like, am I actually worthy of this thing? Do I have the belief systems in place in order to keep this thing? Do I actually know myself to be this person? Then you're questioning your identity. Then you're questioning what you know to be true, right? When you know something, it shouldn't be based on anything else other than you made a choice. You know that it is this way. That's it. So if you're going to go down this path, you need to continue to repeat it until the feeling of naturalness is acquired, even if it's after the manifestation, if you want to manifest it in to stay. right? Because if you manifest it in saying, I didn't believe it, but I just continued to persist and I just kept repeating it, I'm not saying you have to repeat incessantly, but I'm saying continuing to return, continuing to go back to, I am this person, and supporting it in whatever ways or with whatever imaginal acts that you choose to do. If after the fact you still don't see yourself in that identity, you don't know yourself to be it yet, even when you see, because that's a thing, people say seeing is believing, but even when you see it, you still say, nope, that's too good to be true. SP can't really be back. There's a third party. Maybe he's cheating on me. Maybe he doesn't actually love me. Maybe he's just bored right now. And then you've fallen back into that old concept, that old state of knowing yourself to be a version of yourself who's living in non-fulfillment of your actual desires. So what does your 3D reality have to do? Confirm exactly who you know yourself to be. So all the evidence that you built up internally doesn't have time to solidify in your reality if you do not know yourself to be it. If you don't continue to support it with your internal awareness, because you're the only one who can support it, right? It's either you dictating what 3D reality is gonna do, gonna be, gonna look like for you, or you taking that evidence of the old self, reintegrating it, and repeating that old story again in order to get the same evidence. So, just a little tidbit to remember, if you have not changed your conception, you cannot change your perception. Okay, the biggest thing that is the through line for all of my videos, all of the things that I'm talking about, the basis for it all is that the ultimate self-concept is I am. That is that pearl of great price, the knowing yourself to be the only cause of everything that happens. So you have a choice. You have choices to make, and you're the only one who can make them. Now, can you manifest for other people? Yes, I do believe that you can manifest for other people, but I believe that in this infinite realm of realities and versions of ourselves, you can see somebody in your reality living the experience that you see for them, but in their reality, if they haven't accepted that conception of themselves, then they're still living in the reality that they conceive of themselves. Do you get what I'm saying? So the same way for you, even if somebody else was manifesting something for you, wants good for you, if you deny it internally, if you don't know yourself to be that, if you say, I can't believe it, I can't see myself doing this thing, then that person can't override your free will to choose. So do you have to believe your manifestation? No, you don't have to, but you do have to place your faith in the law. You do have to buy that pearl. You have to say, no other conditions, no other conceptions, it's just me. It's just I am. It's just whatever I know myself to be. You place your faith in the law, in whatever your process is, whether you're an affirmer, whether you're a visualizer, whether you're a decider. You place your faith in your awareness that this thing works, this thing is operated by me, I'm the one operating it, and so I must get my results. And I don't want to hear that this is a limiting belief, that you must have faith in the law in some form, even if you don't have faith in this 3D physical avatar of yourself. If you already knew that the outcome was failure, if you thought that this was BS, if you thought that it wasn't going to work, you wouldn't even be here trying. So that inkling of faith that you have in the law, this mustard seed, the faith as a mustard seed is not about the mustard seed being small. It's about total and absolute faith. So if you have this little bit of faith in the law, but you've released every conception, every other belief other than I am, other than this is it, other than I know myself to be it, I am awareness, I get to choose. That's all. This is all who I see myself to be. It's all based off my identity, my self-concept. That's still everything. That's still the most valuable piece. That's still the pearl of great price. Even if the pearl is small, even if the seed is small, it's absolute, it's total, it's the only thing, because you've released all other conceptions. And that is why it's enough. More than enough. It's all you need. Having said all this, yes, you can manifest things without believing them. You can continue to repeat it. The repetition will reprogram your subconscious mind. It will change your belief systems. It will change your identity. It will change the way you see and perceive things in your reality so that you can have a new experience. Yes, you can repeat over and over again and still get what you want. But I want to always give you the opportunity to shift your perspective into more, into it gets to be better, into this gets to be easier, into there's another path. While you can not believe in your manifestations or not believe in your desires and still manifest it, backing it up with your belief, with your full faith, and with your full knowing is nothing but beneficial to you. It can only make things better, and it can only make things easier for you if you do just go all in and buy that pearl and say, yeah, I believe, I know myself to be it, and I believe it. I believe it because I see it because I believe it, both ways, vice versa. I don't give a fuck. It is what it is. I already know myself to be that thing. When you fully believe, it allows you a solidity in your conviction. You have less resistance when you're doing imaginal acts. It's more from a place of, it feels so good to feel myself in this state. It feels so good to know that I am. It feels so good to be in the awareness that I am. And there's a seamlessness in your heart and mind coordination. When your desire agrees with what's going on in here, when that's connected, that's how you manifest like this, like clockwork, like every single time. It just happens because there's absolutely no resistance. You believe it, you know it, there's no doubt, there's no wavering. You have a desire and your brain says, yep, sure, I already know. Yep, sure, it already is. So whether or not you choose to believe it or what you choose to believe in general is always a choice, but knowing yourself to be a thing is knowing yourself to be a thing. Regardless of the conditions, regardless of somebody saying, oh, you can't be this thing unless you have this, or unless you've done that, or unless this, and that. None of that stuff matters when you already know yourself to be it. But if you're not there yet, don't overthink it, and don't think that it's never coming. Don't think that all of this is for nothing, that you'll never get to the place where you can just want something and then automatically step into believing that you have it, automatically step into the knowing that you have it, and fully feel no internal discord in that. Even if you do right now, it's okay. Even if it feels like a lie, it's okay. You have to repeat it anyway. You have to start doing it anyway, because you know that if you're the only cause and you don't start repeating the news story, you don't start seeing yourself differently, you don't shift your awareness, then you will continue to manifest whatever it is in the old story, whatever you're fearful of, whatever those old limiting beliefs are. The only way that they're gonna change is if you start telling the news story, if you start knowing yourself internally to be something different. You have to start somewhere. I'd rather you start with repeating it over and over again, even if you don't believe it, than not do it at all and continue to remain in a limited conception of yourself, or feeling like you're stuck in a reality with shitty circumstances because, oh, well, I can't manifest it because I don't believe it right now. I can't manifest it because I don't believe it's possible. I can't manifest it because I haven't seen anybody else do it. Or I can't manifest it because I saw somebody else do it, but they had this, and that, and they did it for this long, and they did it this way, and I could never do that, so I can't have it. That's not helpful. It's not helpful to anybody, but what is helpful is knowing that, yes, you get to decide, and you're the only one that gets to decide. So whether or not you believe it, whether or not you think there are conditions, no matter what, all of those things get to be let go. And you just get to say, I am. I don't believe it. Oh, that's not true. So what? I am. Oh, but what if this thing happens? So what? I am. Oh, but it hasn't happened yet, and you said it was gonna happen 2 weeks ago. So what? I am. And I still am, 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 and I'm not gonna change my mind. And when it shows up to me, I'm gonna say, see? There it is. I don't think that I have to wait for anybody else to tell me it's okay. I don't think that I have to wait for me to believe it or see it as realistic or anything, literally anything. There's no other reasoning, there's no other conception, there's no other condition other than I am that I am. I choose to be that thing, and that thing is. If I want this thing, I'm not going to change my mind. I'm going to persist in the knowing. I'm going to remain faithful to this story, to this conception of myself, and it must manifest. No matter what, I'm gonna stick to the story, and no matter what, it must manifest. Doesn't matter if I believe it. Doesn't matter if everybody's saying I'm batshit crazy. Doesn't matter if people think I'm delusional. Doesn't matter if I think I'm delusional. I'm still gonna persist. I'm still gonna do it anyway, because with the repetition, it will become more natural. You will have to repeat less. You will build more and more faith. That faith will grow, become more solidified, and you will get that easier through line of like, oh, I want it. I know myself to be it. Of course I believe it. Of course that thing is here. It does happen that way, and it can happen that way for you, even if it doesn't feel that way now. But there's fulfillment on all levels. There's fulfillment in all stages, in all states. You have to be the one to choose what that fulfillment is, because either way, whether you like it or you don't, it's gonna get fulfilled. So I would suggest you just make sure that you put in the correct order instead of the order that you think you're available for, or you think you're ready for, or you think you're worthy of, or you think is possible for you. Put in the one you really want and persist in that one, because that one's possible for you just as much as the other reality is possible for you, and any other reality outside of that. There's no hierarchy of this person believes this so they can have this. or this person has done this so they can have this. It is, I know myself to be it. I know I already have it, and so it's done. That's it. I don't know how many times I can repeat it or how many times I've repeated it in this video. It feels like a lot at this point, but I want to hammer in that this is the reason why. If you know that I'm the only one who gets to say I am, literally, I'm the only cause of everything that happens, you have no choice. You have no choice but to say, okay, I know myself to be this person. Okay, I see that version of reality. I like that version of reality. That is my true heart's desire. I am that person now. You have to be the one to be the catalyst. You have to be the one to start. Even if you don't believe it, even if it seems illogical, even if it seems improbable, it doesn't matter. The law is the law, and the law works. So put your faith in the law. Buy that pearl of great price. Release every conception, every condition, every limiting belief that is not I am. I am that I am. Whatever the other I am is, you are the awareness of being it, and you can be aware of being whatever the fuck you want to be. So choose it, decide it, and persist in it, because the only thing that this is based on is who you say you are. I want to help you solidify this, and I want to read a quote from Neville that just encompasses everything you need to know about manifesting anything you want, no matter what happened before, no matter what's going on now. This is the key. Who do you say that I am is not a question asked 2,000 years ago. It is the eternal question addressed to the manifestation by the conceiver. It is your true self, your awareness of being, asking you, its present conception of self, who do you believe your awareness to be? This answer can be defined only within yourself, regardless of the influence of another. I am, your true self, is not interested in man's opinion. All its interest lies in your conviction of yourself. What do you say of the I am within you? Can you answer and say, I am Christ? Your answer or degree of understanding will determine the place you will occupy in life. Do you say or believe yourself to be a man of a certain family, race, nation, etc.? Do you honestly believe this of yourself? Then life, your true self, will cause these conceptions to appear in your world, and you will live with them as though they are real. I am the door, I am the way, I am the resurrection and the life. No man or manifestation cometh unto my Father save by me. The I am, your consciousness, is the only door through which anything can pass into your world. Stop looking for signs. Signs follow, they do not proceed. Begin to reverse the statement, seeing is believing, into believing is seeing. Start now to believe, not with the wavering confidence based on deceptive external evidence, but with an undaunted confidence based on the immutable law that you can be that which you desire to be. You will find that you are not a victim of fate, but a victim of faith, your own. Only through one door can that which you seek pass into the world of manifestation. I am the door. Your consciousness is the door. So you must become conscious of being and having that which you desire to be and have. This is important here. Any attempt to realize your desires in ways other than through the door of consciousness makes you a thief and a robber unto yourself. Any expression that is not felt is unnatural. Before anything appears, God, I am, feels itself to be the thing desired, and then the thing felt appears. It is resurrected, lifted out of the nothingness. I am wealthy, poor, healthy, sick, free, confined, were first of all impressions or conditions felt before they became visible expressions. Your world is your consciousness objectified. Waste no time trying to change the outside. Change the within or the impression, and the without or expression will take care of itself. When the truth of this statement dawns upon you, you will know that you have found the lost word or the key to every door. I am, your consciousness, is the magical lost word which was made flesh in the likeness of that which you are conscious of being. So remember that believing is seeing, not seeing is believing. And yes, you can manifest without believing right now, but eventually you will believe because you will see it. You already see it in consciousness. You already see it internally, and you will see it objectified, your consciousness objectified, when you know yourself to be that thing, when you say, I am. So eventually you will believe it. Of course, you have to believe it in order for it to continue to exist in your reality, but don't make belief right now a condition of whether or not you can manifest. You manifest because you are. You know it because you are. You are the only one who gets to choose. You're the only one who gets to decide. So say that I am. Allow yourself to be the door. Allow yourself to be your own permission slip of why you can have what you want, of why you can say things how you want to say them, of why you get to manifest in the way that you get to manifest. But maintain that conviction, maintain that knowing, because that knowing of who you are, that knowing that I am, is beyond all beliefs. beyond all limitations, beyond all conditions. This is probably why I bypassed it in the original video, because it's just like, it's a lot. It is a lot, but it's also not. It's a lot, but it's also not. So that's like the culmination point of understanding that these things that we overcomplicate, these things that we do deep dives into, and we really want to gain this level of understanding that is somehow beyond us, is never really beyond us. It's always internal. It was always there. It was always blatantly obvious, but it's the acceptance of it. So that's why you're already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe it is the only reason that you don't see it. So don't say, oh yeah, I can manifest, I never have to believe it, I just manifest it anyways, because you're still in that level of, I'm refusing to believe it. Don't close the door of belief. Don't close the door of faith. You need that faith. That faith is your fortune. That faith is some potent currency. That faith can buy you that pearl. Either putting in your votes for the old story or putting in your votes for the new story. Your faith is somewhere. Your faith doesn't just materialize out of nowhere. You have some, and you're spending it, you're using it, you're circulating your faith, buying into different ideas and concepts. But when you pull all of that faith back into I am that I am, you're no longer in the refusal to believe it. You just already know yourself to be it. And that's it. That's all. And then rummaging through limiting beliefs or conditions or circumstances becomes so irrelevant to what you already know exists, what you already know that you are. Okay, I think I talked your ear off enough. If you have any more questions, if there's anything you want me to go deeper in depth on, please, again, leave it in the comments. Bug me about it, because sometimes I do forget, so just let me know. All right, that's gonna do it for me today. I really hope you guys enjoyed and got something of value from this video. Please be sure to leave your questions, comments, concerns in the comment box below, and check out the description for my social media links, services, all that good stuff is down below. And other than that, I love you all so much. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.